but the Japanese captured him and sent him to a concentration camp, where he suffered unimaginably and of a brain tumor in 1945, 7 months before the end of the war. 5. Seabiscuit copyright Hank Olan, NY Daily News Archive via Getty Images, Universal, The Little Horse That Could. Unlikely champion Seabiscuit was small and knobbly-kneed but overcame his natural deficiencies, not to mention injuries, to become a champion many times over and an inspiration to a country ravaged by the Great Depression. But he had a suspected heart attack at 14. The average lifespan of a racehorse is between 25 and 30 years. 6. My Left Foot, Christy Brown copyright Independent News and Media, Getty Images, Granada Films. Daniel Day-Lewis won his first Oscar in 1990 for playing Irish writer and artist Brown, who had cerebral palsy and came from extreme poverty. He was the 10th of 22 children to become a literary sensation. He gained a measure of financial success, moved to America and planned to marry his love Beth Moore. But he didn't. Instead he set up with Mary Carr, an alcoholic English ex-prostitute, according to Brown's brother, who habitually mistreated him. Brown aged 49 after choking on a lamb chop. Suspicious bruising on the body means there are still questions over the cause of death. 7. The accused, Cheryl Arroyo copyright Paramount, Rex, Shutterstock. Cheryl Arroyo overcame horrific trauma and social disapproval to tell the story of how she had been gang-raped in front of a crowd in a public bar. Despite the defense attorney's attempts to depict her as a slut who was asking for it, she won her case, leading to 4 convictions and a new worldwide debate over the issue of victim blaming. Advertisement, continue Reading Bella ostracized from her own community for having brought shame upon it. Yep, her fault, apparently. She moved to Miami after the trial and enrolled to become a teacher. She never made it. She was killed in a car crash aged just 25. Her attackers were all out of jail within 6.5 years. 8. The Imitation Game, Alan Turing copyright Fine Art Images, Heritage Images, Getty Images, The Weinstein Company. No secret to this one, mathematical genius Turing may have shortened the war, single-handedly by inventing the computer and, according to some estimates, saved 14 million lives, but Britain didn't like gays, so that was that. He was arrested for gross indecency in 1952 and accepted a sentence of chemical castration instead of prison time. He passed away from cyanide poisoning aged only 41 in 1954, and an inquest ruled he by suicide. 9. Rescue Dawn, Dieter Dengler copyright YouTube, Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer Werner Herzog's documentary Little Dieter Needs to Fly and subsequent movie Rescue Dawn record how German-American pilot Dengler was shot down over Laos and taken captive by the Viet Cong and Pathet Lao communist guerrillas. He was hung upside down over a venomous ant's nest, held in a freezing well, tortured with bamboo under his fingernails and starved over a period of 4 months. He escaped by killing the guards and heading off into the enemy jungle, where after walking and rafting for weeks and surviving on raw snake meat, he made it all the way to Thailand and safety. Sadly, he went on to develop ALS, also known as motor neurone disease, and took his own life in 2001.10. The Killing Fields, Dr. Haring SNGOR copyright Warner Brothers, Getty Images. Bit of an unusual one this because we're not talking about the character of photojournalist Dev Pran, who NGOR played in the film, we're talking about NGOR himself. Like Pran, NGOR was a victim of the Khmer Rouge, driven out of Phnom Penh during the revolution and enslaved in rural prison camps. He survived the genocide by living on scorpions, beetles and worms, but his wife in childbirth because he could not reveal that he was a gynecologist without guaranteeing all 3 of their deaths. The Khmer Rouge summarily executed everyone suspected of being an intellectual. NGOR, by now weighing only 4 stone, were escaped by crawling between Khmer and Vietnamese lines to get to a Red Cross camp. He came to America and built a new life as an advocate for Cambodians, and won an Oscar for his portrayal of Dev Pran, whose story reflected his own so closely. He was shot dead in a robbery by LA gang members in 1996.11. Erin Brockovich copyright Universal. Wasn't it lovely that Erin Brockovich, after struggling against big business and the patriarchy, not only triumphed on behalf of the little guy and won record-breaking damages in her case, but also went home to her supermanly boyfriend, a biker and construction worker who wasn't afraid of a strong woman or the responsibilities of being a stepfather. Yeah, not so much in real life. Jorge Haileby George in the movie, played by Aaron Eckhart, got together with Erin's ex-husband Sean Brown and lawyer John Reiner after the movie came out and demanded $310,000 from Ed Masry, played by Albert Finney in the movie, on the threat of them announcing that he had had an affair with Erin, and that Erin was an unfit mother. Brockovich and Masry denied their allegations. Masry reported them to the authorities on suspicion of extortion, and they were arrested in a sting operation shortly afterwards. The charges against Haileby and Brown were dropped, while Reiner was found guilty of attempted extortion and conspiracy to commit extortion in 2001. Want up-to-the-minute entertainment and tech news? Just hit like on our Digital Spy Facebook page and follow on our @Digital Spy Twitter account and you're all set.